Sanje Chodang Tsocho Chonam La, Chanchu Pado, Dane Japson Chi, Dage Jinso Jibe Sonam Ji, Rola Pensada Sanje Roba Aishu, Sanje Chodang Tsocho Chonam La, Chanchu Pado, Dane Japson Ji, Dage Jinso Jibe Sonam, Rola Pensada Sanje Roba Aishu, Sanje Chodang Tsocho Chonam, Chanchu Pado, Dane Japson Ji, Dage Jinso Jibe Sonam, Rola Penza Sanje and Roba Show, Sinje Tamje, Dewa, Dan Dewi Chodo, Dembach, Donghanda, Donghanji Jodan, Trawa Chuji, Donghamipi, Dewa, Tam, Medrawa, Yeren Chadan, the Travi, Donyamla, Never Choro, Chi, Saju Puju, Suju Med, Ralingi, Yedijin Banda, Sanji Shinda, Mite Po, Roke Namda Shendo Juba Show. Good morning, everyone. I have not seen you for over a month. Meanwhile, I have been in Tibet, China, New York, and so because of that, I fulfilled His Holiness Dachi Doji Chan's wish, and I've been for a whole month. So I came back with one piece and happy and a successful trip. I've been Tibet, Sakya, Ngor, Shigatse, Lhasa, and many holy sites in China. And so Avirumache and Jayangla and his teacher Dachnyama joined me. So we had a wonderful trip and a successful trip. And mainly the Sakya is the one His Holiness wanted me to go and to do the offerings and take things for there, so which I have done. I am so happy and all that. And then right after I came back, I went to New York, Sakya Melam Chimo, which is the first time in Northwest in New York, Walden, and many Lamas, especially His Holiness Sachi Techen Rinpoche, Tenzin Rinpoche, Dongse Rinpoche, Dagmo Kusho, Jutsun Kusho, and our family, and Ane Rinpoche's family, Zai Rinpoche's family, Sadhu Rinpoche's family, and myself, and the Droka and took with me. And of course, Kempo Chamba is doing the preparation over there. So these Lamas all were there and came, and especially you all know Kempo Gunga, who helped me so much during His Holiness here, and 49th. So now all the Lamas came. And everything went very well, successfully, although I had a little hard time with my altitude, but I made it through. And I didn't done lots of offerings every way. I didn't wasted any time. So I came back one piece and got to see you all. So I was asked today to do some beginning, a Dharma talk. But I think today is really important because my voice is not that good. I had cold or allergy, I don't know, maybe exhaustion. And anyway, so I just going to kind of open some beginning and how to become Buddhist. So I know our members, our students know well, and they're even the teaching. But there's always somebody new. So, and also sometimes we have to remind something. So it is good to just remind. So I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just saying that as you all know, Buddha Dharma is all mainly loving and compassion. So those who are interested to become Buddhist, and we consider that when they very happily and something new dress or clean to come to monasteries, temples, or visit lamas. And that is very important. And the first time you're visiting any of those, you don't come empty-handed, which means you can bring some offerings. You can bring anything from your heart. It's flowers, fruit, monetary, or even khatas to bring. So when you come in the temple or visiting lamas, and before you enter the temple, and you, of course, you always remove the shoes, and then come in. Senior can help you and guide you to come in. And then we do the meditation like today. You have to sit. We do the 3 prostrations, and you sit lotus position or knee down, and so that is very, important to do. You don't put your feet toward to the Lama or shrine, or you don't lie down, or you have to be straight, very respectfully, and you sit. And then there's like meditation, and they can give you the books to meditations. And the books are very important. Books is the more Lord Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching. So that's, you have to respect it. And always have book stand or some cushion. You can never put it on the floor, or accidentally you drop, you put on the head. So also, when book standers and the books, don't ever walk over. And sometimes I see this and make me, strong to say something. So I have a chance to say this. So books are more important than statues. And I'm sure many of you have some in your home, some shrines or altars. It is good to have altars, and so once you become Buddhist, it's good, you can, whenever you can, you do some offerings and pray, meditation. And it's not good to have in same bedroom you sleep. Even you don't have a room, you can put some fireplace or some place, that nice place. And then once you received refugee vow, which means you are Buddhist, and those days, like Buddha's holidays, there's so many in Buddhist calendar, there's lots of holidays, Buddhists, like the full moon, new moon, 25th, and all so forth, like we do here, Sakya Monastery, those days. And you do some offering. If you can't do every day, you don't have to go buy expensives to offering. It has to come from your heart. Even you just go backyard, pick up some flowers, fresh water, or anything fresh, and offering your food. And you cannot offering the leftovers, always fresh before you eat, you do. And the cups has to be clean. And this is very important to do. So anyway, I have, and then your shrines room, and I have seen, and I also want to remind you this, when the Buddha statues, paintings, tankas, or so forth, the books, sometimes I've seen in somebody's bathroom, and that is not allowed. That is very bad, disrespect. Many of you know, I don't have to say, but I just remind. And even all this, I know you are sitting there a long time to watching, reading, but that's not a place. And you have to put books, that are very important. Do not put in the bathroom. Even I seen in the bathroom some of the Buddha's begging bowl, putting soaps and some other things. And those are, you lose your merit, which is not good. If you didn't know, now you know. So those are really important. So anyway, and coming a temple and visiting Lamas, and when you're receiving teachings from Lama, and you have to listen careful, try to transmit that in you. Even the Lamas giving the Tibetan, you still get blessing. And during the teaching, you cannot use prayer wheel or rosary. Put it aside, listen careful. They will always say it's 3 poisons and when we're teaching time, and which means like container, if you want to put milk or water or anything, is container. If you're receiving the teaching from Lama and you're not really respected, and thinking something, this teaching is really true or kind of curiosity, and then the container is like has leaking, it's crack, it goes through, you cannot get anything. Or, and when you're receiving the teaching Lama, you're not even paying attention at all, thinking what I'm going to do after this, and tomorrow, next day. And then container has no bottoms going through, and so forth. And so, and then anyway, those the 3 poisons, you have to be very careful to listen careful in the teachings and to transmit it. And Buddhism is all loving and kindness, loving kindness toward to others and yourself. And there's so many ways it said how rare to become human being with all this opportunity, which we are, and we cannot waste that. So you have to confident yourself, how lucky I am, how lucky I have freedom to practice and receiving teaching, Buddhist teachings around, teachers around, and you have to remind that every day yourself. Of course, there's so many talk about impermanent. So these things is just I like to remind you, and then when you coming in the temple, it has to be nice, respectful, quiet, and things, for example, like if you touch in the books and you cannot put your sliver to using the pages, and this is disrespectful. I know it's some books you do, but Buddhist books you cannot do that. And so this, and then while you're reading things, you cannot touch your feet and touching the books, and those are disrespectful. It's when you have a shrine in your house, you have the Buddhist books first, and then the Buddhist statues, Lamas pictures, whatever you have. So that books is so important. Of course, when you become the Buddhist, you will know it little by little, but sometimes it's good to remind and things, just we can just, forget little things. So to make sure that is so important when coming respectfully, sitting, good posture while you're doing the meditation and pray, and thinking, not think about outside world, what you're going to do, the future, later, yesterday, but just concentrate while you're there. And this is really important. And of course, the Lamas, His Holiness Dacha Dorje Chan, give you all the teachings, whether he's not here or he's, but his blessing and his teachings with you forever until you reach the enlightenment. And that is very important to know. So also, like I said, I'm very happy to done part of his wish and my family and some of our devoted students and helped me, courage, and supported me, and financially and mentally to go this trip. So I succeed and wonderful. And one of those days, I am going to show you tell you and show you my trip. And trip is much more success than what I was expected, because these are guidance from His Holiness Dachi Chang, and every place. So, I know many of you like to see and want to know. So, unlike, it's good to learn some Tibetan Buddhism etiquette. It is good to know every religion, every spiritual I respect, and good, everything's good, loving, compassion, helping for others. And sometimes the tradition, custom, a little different. For example, when you go Buddhist temple, you never wear hat. Like Christian, you have to have hat, wear some cover. So for example, like this, those things is good to know. And when you go to the temple, and try to avoid, not eating the garlic, or wear something clean and new clothes, not the old ragged clothes too. And body is always covered, no topless, no bottomless, and coming to monastery. And this is wonderful to do so. So and then always respect. One is like Buddhist monks wear the gusen, and lay people wear the shawl. And you should wear the shawl. Anything shawl is covered on the top. This is respectful. And whenever you go to temple and some meditation, it's good to wear anything this. And then when the offerings to the Lama or statues, like Makala Day we do, and there's a person who offering, it's good to have covered your mouth. It's really important. You don't give the germs and cover your mouth. And the offering to food to lamas or the makala or statues, and when we do. And these things, the little things is good. And then also I kind of notice when we're doing the Buddha when you're doing this dopa, and many people doing this is not really quite right. This is the right. You just remove your obstacles, remove all negative things. It's good to do. And these little things might help you a little bit. So I was thinking before, and then I thought maybe when the time comes, I can talk with it. So these things is really important. So I'm sure many of you already know, but just a reminder, and if some new one might help a little, this could give you some good things. And so if you have any question, I can take it, because today we could just go in a little bit Buddhist etiquette going through. I was told, it said 20 minutes. Okay, maybe 20 minutes ago. So if you have any question, I'm sure you all the seniors and they know what to do. But there's any question, I take it.
So even of those of us who've been around for a while, what's the biggest thing that you look and say, I wish they would do
Say that again.
So many of us have been coming here for a number of years, but I'm sure there's something where you must think that you would wish we would all correct ourselves. What is that thing?
I can't hear.
Okay.
Come on.
So many of us have been here for several years.
Yes.
And I'm sure that there's probably some etiquette faux pas that many of us are missing like that. Or what is the thing that you really wish that we would all correct ourselves on quickly?
What we have done before you didn't know, that's okay. But now you know. It's not this way, it's this way.
What else?
Anything else?
I will watch. I noticed that walking over the book standard, and that's very important. Don't do that. And so when you have sometimes we have in the monastery some kind of offerings, teas and things, and cups. Don't take over the cup, over the book. Just go around the drawing. And this is how you would do.
Sometimes we don't have book stands, especially in the middle of a teaching, and I've seen people put books on a seat, and then some people say, oh, it's okay because it's not on the floor, and other people say, oh, it's a seat, and others have us sometimes put a purse or a piece of shawl down or something. So
Yes.
could you tell us, is
shawl.
this inappropriate?
You have a shawl. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
But then you cannot go over.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Is it okay for us lay people, sometimes when I'm chanting, I get a little, my throat gets a little stuffed. Is it okay if we have something hot in a container while, to take a sip so that we can chant better? Is that okay?
That's okay. I haven't done something today. It's okay. Yeah.
And should our Dharma books be put on a different shelf than regular books, or is it okay to put
Not
them-
regular. If you have a shrine, you put the books first, and then the statues, and then the offerings, so forth like that. That's books is very important. It's Dharma books, and especially once you receive the refugee vow, and Buddha, and Dharma and Sangha, you have to respect it. Buddha, Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, who gave us and guide us the teaching, and follow his teaching, doctrine, and the Buddha Dharma, and the Sangha, so those Lamas and monks who are guiding us, teaching us, helping us. Always those three we have to respect. And then those holidays I told you, you can do some offerings. Yes.
Good morning. Am I doing this right? Okay, I've never used one of these. I have a question regarding my shrine at home. I live in a very small space, and because it's so small, I'm not able to really meditate in front of my shrine. So I have a little corner where the shrine is, but in order to meditate, I then have to go into a different space to sit. I know that's not ideal, but is that all right?
Well, I'm talking that your shrine, it shouldn't be in the bedroom, someplace you sleep. But if you have just put some statues. Maybe if you don't have don't have big place, you can put some fireplace or way is higher someplace. But you can meditate any place, your bedroom, any place, wherever quiet. And the meditation is very important.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can you review the proper attitude to have when you approach a Lama that you know and a Lama that you don't know, and perhaps you want to say something to them and perhaps you don't, but you want to meet their eyes, so you acknowledge them?
Well, in the Buddha's teaching, we always really have a hard time to find right Lama, right teacher, teacher that carries transmission, teachers that we also think is in the previous life, karma connection. And also, you like this certain teacher. It doesn't matter teacher is high-ranking or and the very famous, or a man or woman, doesn't matter, a monk or nun, doesn't matter, teachers who you can kind of, you feel it, you think you're connected. Then you go to that teacher. And we said in the Tibetan Buddhism, special Mahayana Buddhism, you really find the right teacher. There's so many teachers now, so many teachers, but teachers who carries transmission and the qualification all, and that's the teacher you look for. But then there are so many of them also. So when you go and ask a question about your meditation or your Buddhism, how your meditation, if teacher can answer you correct and you feel good, and this is the teacher you should go. And then whenever you receive the refugee vow, that's your first entrant in Buddhism, so that's the teacher you have to follow. And I know someone said, I want to take a second time the refugee, sometimes that's your wish, but it's first whoever brought you in Buddhism and giving the refuge, that the teacher you first follow. And then you can follow the teacher, whoever you think is, and your connection. Of course, there is like in Tibetan Buddhism, there is like Nyingma, Sakya, Kagyu, Gelu, and there's 4 different. We all are Buddhist followers, no difference. But those teachers can maybe teach a little different way of the whatever necessary and follow their own teachers. So that's why it's sometimes the prayer, lineage prayer is some different, dedication some different, but the main teaching is the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni followers, all are. So that is very important to know. And whoever you think is, you connected. And of course, when you go to teacher, ask a question, things you always respectfully cover your mouth and ask a question. And whenever teacher, if you come to monastery, if there's no just monks there, and the monks be seated, and then you can sit. If there's a Lama teacher, you cannot be seated, standing up, wait until Lamas and teachers be sit down. Then you do prostration, you can sit down. This is if it is really important to respectful doing things. It's good for you, purifies your observation, and you feel good, and that this is the way of Buddhism etiquette we follow. I wrote a short book, so some of you must be read that too.
Dagmo Kusho, thank you for your teachings today. It's wonderful. With this idea, with the question about greeting a Lama, and I'm interested in offering kata when I greet a Lama. Is there anything, first of all, if I cover my mouth when I approach a Lama or a teacher, is it all right to use my adi to cover my mouth, or should I?
Yeah, that's good.
That's okay?
Cover your, yes. If you're doing this, some the food offering, like we do the makala and all the so, it's good to cover with something I think it's Rokan had made some you cover, or kata, whatever. Okay. That will be, is good to do it. But
you.
you're just talking to the teacher, you can cover your ideas, that's fine.
Thank you.
Same kata you're offering? So you want to cover your mouth and then offer the same kata? I don't think so.
No. That's kata is cover kata and offering kata completely different, you know. Mhm.
Lastly, may I ask, is there any special way to offer a kata that we don't know? Should it be, is the opening go towards the Lama, or does the opening, because it's folded usually. I'm just wondering if there's anything that we should know about offering a kata.
Well, you respectfully, if you want a kata, every time you see Lama, you can cut. But Lama may not take it, but you just hold it. That is also fine. But it's good to do. Kata is one major Tibetan Buddhism use.
If the kata is folded though, so the opening goes towards the Lama?
Well, there's many ways this. If you request Lama to give initiation, and then you have the half folded up with some request envelope, whatever you would put on the table. If you're just visiting, just could have put. Yeah, there's different way, but kata is important for. And sometimes when you give, and the Lama may give you back to your neck. And most initiations, and you can give the kata to Lama. Sometimes you may not receive it back because you're just doing for. But whatever you have offerings, it has to come from your heart, not just somebody else is doing. Whatever you have, and it doesn't matter, big, small, what amount, doesn't matter. It has to come from your heart. That is important.
One final question, anybody?
Dharma, when we've received a teaching for a practice and it's a longer practice, is it okay if you pencil in little notes on the side to help you?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, that's good. Then you remind and you have to remember things. Of course, yes. And these are all the teachings. I'm old woman practitioner from Tibet, and I have been tremendously blessed by all the four sets of Tibetan Buddhism. And so being many up and down, all the palace life to refugee camp. So I've been with all this experience, so I'm giving you teaching my own experience, and it works. So, so I'm not a great teacher or any power, anything, I don't have it. But I'm just giving from my heart and my own experience. And this has been helped, so I hope it helped you. Thank you. And I want to thank you for Khenpo Kungala and all the Lamas, monks, and my doctor, Dr. Tom Robert. Welcome to Monastery. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Lama Kunga.